This content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. The Better Traders is not a broker dealer. We are not an investment advisor. We have no access to non public information about publicly traded companies or cryptocurrencies. And this is not a place for the giving or receiving of financial advice, advice concerning investment decisions, or tax or legal advice. The value of investments and the income derived from them can go down as well as up. Investors may not get back the amount they invested, and past performance is not a guide to future performance. Hey you guys, it's me. What's up? It's Moonin Papa, and you are watching my weekly live stream here on YouTube. Before I say anything else, it's the same thing as every week. I just need to make sure that you all can hear me. So I hope that everybody's doing well. We're all good there. And I want to give you a quick reminder that this live stream happens every single week at this time, which is my Thursday. I had to think about it. My Thursday at 11 a.m. Japan Standard Time, which would be West Coast 10 p.m. Or sorry, East Coast 10 p.m. in North America, and it would be 7 p.m. on the West Coast. So you can set a reminder for upcoming live streams. Note that in as little as 2 weeks, which is crazy, I'm actually going to be live streaming from Dubai. I'm going to the Future Blockchain Conference. I'm sorry, the Future Blockchain Summit. I got to get that right. And I'm really excited to go. I'm going to be presenting on one of the main stages. The Better Traders is going to be there. We're going to be there with Gareth Soloway and the Verified Investing Education team. It's going to be a massive week. It's going to be a big week. Hopefully not a big week like Barry Silbert would say. If you don't get the reference, that's okay. So today, we're really going to be talking about Bitcoin's price action, the painful price lashing that we've been experiencing through all of this chippity chip chop chop, and some promising signs on the DXY. So let's go ahead and jump on over to TradingView. Here we go, pop up. So what I want to make sure you understand is that as much as I have talked about this idea of this TBO bear formula, which in essence is looking for a specific formula to take place where we have different symbols appearing for the TBO, and looking back at 2018 and at 2014, we've seen this same formula play out, the same movement down, 52%, 56%. And so far, we're actually still intact for this bear formula. But I need to make sure that everyone knows that I am not married to this theory. It's a theory. Now, if this theory holds to be true, then it'll be incredible, for one. But we only have 2 previous bear markets of data to work off of. We're not looking at 200 previous bear markets. So this theory is still a theory. It's not fact. So I need to make sure that I help you all understand that I'm not married to this, and it could very well be, we could very well see Bitcoin fall lower. But so far, Bitcoin's doing exactly what I said it would be doing, which is going sideways for a while. So how much longer, according to historical performance, can we expect it to go? Well, one thing that I look at for every previous bear market, I look at the amount of time below the TBO cloud. So going back here in 2018, Bitcoin's price was below the cloud, counting when it was first below, when it pierced below, and when it went into the cloud, it took 19 weeks or 19 bars. Now over here in 2015, it actually happened in smaller amounts. Right here is the first bit. It was 7 bars, and then it shot right back down again. And then it took like 13 bars. But instead of doing that, I just felt like it made more sense to just look at it cumulatively because it was a quick rejection in and out. And then here, this is really short-lived. Actually, it's more like right there because we're looking at the wicks too. And right there. So it's about 10 bars, about 23 bars. So in that range. Why does this matter? Well, we can use past performance to figure out what's normal. So we're looking back here at 23 bars and 10 bars. Sorry, 23 bars, which is the longest amount in 2015, and 19 bars in 2018 to 19. So I've been talking about this for a long time. And again, we're right on schedule. So if we're going to go off of this concept of being out of the cloud, the whole premise of this is that we're timing when we might see Bitcoin go into the cloud. What that means is that, historically speaking, when Bitcoin's price goes into the cloud, we are considered neutral, if not bullish. So after it goes into the cloud, that typically changes directions real fast. So I'm actually expecting something like this, not to this degree, but something pretty juicy to happen as soon as the price goes into the cloud. Now, this is not taking into consideration all the economic turmoil that we're seeing right now, but this is kind of what I'm expecting. More like this, a move up and then probably a retest and then maybe move up higher, but we'll see. I think this is more likely to happen. So let me go to the current day to give you a couple of ideas of what this could look like. So based on 2014, this is kind of what it would look like for 2014. So let me move this a little bit out of the way. Oh, there we go. So looking at 2014, this is the thing that I am hoping for. This would be nice. So it was 23 bars into the cloud, and then 40 bars really until we really saw that big move up back here. This is that big move up. That's a long time. That would put us out in May 2023. Might happen though. And then the 23 bars is the short-term estimate down here. It matches that. So let's look at 2018 though. So this is a shorter bear market. We're looking at everything based off of the capitulation bounce, which I think happened on the week of the 18th of July. Now, both scenarios, we saw a capitulation bounce and the price fell down. So what's interesting is that if we look at the bars pattern of 2015, we're actually right on target, believe it or not. It's pretty amazing. So this is 2015's price action. So right now we're on target. It's kind of scary how accurate that is. Let me make this a little bit brighter to see. There we go. So looking at this, prices come down and it would make sense for it to just keep going sideways for quite a while. Again, I understand there's a lot going on in the world, but again, looking at what's happened in the past, we can get an idea of what's possible to happen in the future. So the whole purpose of this is to figure out how long, not that one, this one, how long it might take for Bitcoin's price to go into the cloud. And the concept is that by seeing Bitcoin's price going into the TBO cloud, that means that it's changing from a bearish to a neutral market, which is good because neutral means that we could transition into a bullish market. So a mid-cycle bull move up to 30K, I think is very likely to happen this year, but there's a lot of things that we have to keep an eye on. So let's talk about those now. Okay, just a second. All right, so over here, I think it's really important to talk about the Dixie. So one thing to note about the DXY, or the Dixie as it is affectionately shortened to, I don't know about affectionately, but it just is. I shared this in the Better Traders Club a couple of days ago, saying that every single time that the index for the US dollar has gone parabolic, it eventually tops out and it gets so far away from the TBO fast line and the moving averages that it stalls. And it can go up a little bit more, but it stalls and it falls. Stalls, falls, stalls, falls. And it looks like we could be hitting one of those stall fall scenarios. It's too early to tell, but it's very, very clear that the DXY has shot up to an insane degree. It's shot up 6% over 12 bars, over 16 days. It's insane. So anything that goes straight up real fast is due for a correction, whether it's crypto, stocks, or even the DXY. So looking at the weekly time frame, if we pull out some interesting stuff, we do have this daily support, sorry, not daily. Well, actually, we're on the weekly, so we need to go to, there we go. Oh, it shouldn't be there. So we're looking at some support and resistance. Now, I did have a line here of resistance that I've been watching for quite a while, and it closed above that, no sweat, last week. Last week it closed up 3%, which has crashed a lot of markets, and it's still moving up higher. So where is there hope for this? Where could the DXY top out? Do I think it's going to top out now? No, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to top out now. As much as that would make me very happy and a lot of other people happy and not so cautious and nervous, I still think we're going to move up higher. Note this is the monthly time frame. Look at how parabolic this is. We even have breakouts right here, 3 in a row on the monthly time frame, which is crazy. Note I don't even think, here we go. The last time we saw this happen was back here in 82. So there was a little bit of a pullback, and then it went up even higher. Again, this chart looks real bad for equities, real bad for crypto. I mean, if this was Bitcoin's chart, I would be extremely happy and buying more BTC. It's not. So I believe that the DXY has an inverse correlation to Bitcoin, meaning that DXY goes up, Bitcoin should suffer a bit. So looking at this and looking at where our next possible point of resistance is, it's pretty clear to see that we're going to go all the way back here to 2001 and 2002 to find a double top. So this is really our biggest point of resistance that's ahead of us. And the TBO has plotted out here 120.40. So I have 121.02 here pointed out as a resistance line because that was the previous high made back in 2001. So I sighed just because things are so bad that we're emulating price action on the DXY, or rather the strength of the DXY is similar to what we saw in the .com crash. So rising DXY is not good. Again, so it makes sense to see a termination zone of up there. If we lay down some fib lines, one beautiful thing that's happened is that according to the 2017 fibs projection, and actually this needs to be down. There we go. It actually topped out. So this is one glimmer of hope. It literally hit our 1.618, which is a rejection point. This is actually a termination zone. This is the only glimmer of hope that I see for this chart right now. To be completely honest, everything else is pretty abysmal, pretty terrible. So seeing this is giving me a little bit of peace, but it's only if it doesn't keep moving up. Because if it keeps moving up, it's no good. If I go ahead and add the 2, it's just above our previous resistance. And if we go back even further, this is why I'm not feeling so great, is because we're nearing our full retracement back up to 120. If we go back to even 1985, currently on the, I'm sorry, I wanted to zoom in a bit more like this. There we go. We've actually wicked into, on the weekly time frame, the 0.05 fib line, again, drawn from this massive move back here in 85. So the top in 85 to the bottom here in 92. This is a massive move. So we do have several lines telling us that there's a lot of resistance up here, that we should see the DXY top out between 120 and 124. We should. Is it a guarantee? No, unfortunately. While it's a great chart and we can use charts to plot what could happen in the future, this trend is serious. It is seriously bullish, which again is bad for the DXY. So that's why I'm feeling a little bit cautious about markets. Now, if we look at what the S&P has been doing this week, we go to the daily time frame just to show. Yesterday, the Dixie closed down 1.3%, and the S&P, of course, went inversely up. It closed at almost 2% higher. This is one thing that I'm feeling fairly good about right now. The S&P, well, the SPX, this is an index that's on TradingView. It fell down and tested support, and now it's actually bounced up, and essentially almost have a bullish engulfing candle. We kind of do. Yeah. It would be better if it was starting from down here, but this is good. It's stronger than seeing a continuation down. Anything breaking below 36, 37, right here, this line, if we break below this, then it's clear, rather it's safe to assume that we're going to have our next stop be here at 33.98. Basically back at the top, or this resistance here in February 2020, just before the COVID crash. And then if things get real bad, then we're just going to keep going lower and lower. And I know this is like doomsday, but this is what would make sense. And the reason why I'm saying all this stuff isn't because I'm a perma bear. It's because I've stopped getting hopeful and I've started just looking at the chart. I want to look at what's realistic. I want to look at the trend. I want to look and see, where are we? What's happening? What's happened before? And closing below the cloud's moving down. It's not looking very strong right now. You could argue that it looks quite similar to this to a degree. Back here to, what's the date? 2007, and also here 2000. So we're seeing it emulate a previous market structure that, again, isn't that great. It's not as far along as these two markets, so only time will tell. But again, it's not looking great. So I understand from news that I read recently on Twitter, not the most reliable because I didn't fact check it, but I did see that the Bank of England is basically printing money. If they do this quantitative easing, it could be bullish and create a fake rally, and other markets might follow it. But boy, oh boy, will it be artificial and short term. I don't really see any type of major recovery right now. So now that you're thoroughly happy and feeling really positive about the markets and everything, I do want to talk about some interesting developments though. For one thing that I found really interesting, and let me go over here to get rid of some of this stuff. I just find this so fascinating. So let's take a look at some other stuff. So this is like hidden bullish behavior for the charts. Looking at Bitcoin on the weekly, price has been going sideways. It's consolidating like I've predicted it will do, and so far it's sticking to it, although I don't like the direction it's moving in. But one thing to note is that RSI is getting really close to breaking above this resistance point and testing again at 41, this 41 to 44 range. We would need to see a bullish green close on the weekly in order for it to really move up higher. But still, even without this resistance fan, it's pretty plain to see that we have this trend moving up on RSI. I find that to be quite encouraging, actually, to see strength moving up in RSI and prices kind of moving down. So this is hidden bullish divergence. This is actually a good thing. If we switch to the daily time frame, this is even more apparent. And let me get rid of the TBO just to make it really neat and clean. You can see it even more clearly. And let me get rid of the, there we go. I want to take that MA out so I don't find it useful. Again, similar structure. Price is moving down, but we have this support in place for RSI. So again, there are little bullish signs everywhere. Another thing that's really bullish, in my opinion, is the fact that BTC is almost not paying attention to the Dixie anymore. Almost. And what I mean by that, actually, let me get rid of this just so you can see it clearly. The concept is simple. When the DXY moves up, Bitcoin falls down. Now, we've seen it move up in tandem here back in 2021, but anytime it starts to stall out, like this. When we see it stalling like this, peaks up and it's stalling going sideways, it allows BTC to run. It moves up and it stalls, it allows, and look, it's falling, so BTC is rising. I've talked about this before in previous live streams. So what I find interesting right now is that we're almost at this point of moving away. Because, I mean, we're still seeing it move up. Let me try to say this clearly in a way that makes a lot of sense, because I've had a little bit too much coffee apparently. So what I'm seeing is this. Bitcoin is moving up, the DXY is falling. DXY is rising, Bitcoin is moving down at a very much of it at an inverse rate. But it's the amount that it's falling that I'm super surprised by. And here's what I'm talking about. Bitcoin's held the line for the most part about 18,800 or so, while the Dixie has continued to move up higher. The Dixie has moved up from about 104 to 113, which is an incredible increase. All the while, Bitcoin is actually holding the line. This honestly wasn't something that I was expecting to see at all. If anything, I thought Bitcoin would be punished even more. But if you look at the extreme movement of the DXY, moving up from on the 12th of September, when it started to move up, and Bitcoin did fall. I mean, no doubt about it. Bitcoin's been punished as well, falling like 19%, and right now it's down 13%-ish from this. Actually, it's more like this. So it's down about 15%. What I find crazy, though, is that the DXY, looking on the left-hand side, we went from 108 to 114. That should have trashed the market. That should have destroyed Bitcoin because Bitcoin is a risk-on asset. But if anything, it's just holding sideways. Now, am I in love with this trading action right now? No. This is the most garbage, nonsense, sideways nonsense ever. This is so frustrating to trade because you get in a good position and you get stopped out, good position, stopped out, or you think it's going to continue. It doesn't, it reverses. This is garbage, but this is exactly what accumulation looks like just before distribution. Accumulation distribution is a really common pattern. Let me go back, sorry. That we see in markets all the time. And what typically happens is that the price will constrict into a tight zone like this before distribution. So right here would be considered accumulation and then distribution. So it's distribution to the downside, I understand, but we've also seen it to the other direction as well. Let me go back over here. So this is accumulation and distribution going up. Accumulation, going sideways, distribution, accumulation, distribution. So we're seeing this similar pattern play out. I want you also to notice that back here in May to the end of May, the price action range was 11%. And right now, we're only looking back really a week or so, though, 9 days. This is about 11% as well. It's toned down a whole lot. The swings that we saw over the last several days have been massive. This range in total has moved up 32% or so, a max of that, but really it's around this range of 25%. It's really not doing much. Bitcoin typically does a whole lot more than this, but it's just going sideways and it's just holding the line. I want to compare that with the SPX. This is why I'm shocked, because believe it or not, Bitcoin is holding up better than the S&P. I know the percentage may not look that amazing to you, but looking here on September 12th, we're just going to measure from here down to here. So the S&P index fell 11 or basically 12% from the 12th of September on. Here goes, 12th of September on, vertical. So this one fell 20%, but now it's recovered up 13%. I say this is incredible because, believe me, I know you're like, wait, isn't that bigger? Yes, it is, but that's normal. Bitcoin is crazy volatile. But if you look at the wild swings here from the S&P compared to Bitcoin, and actually now I want to overlay this. We're going to do SPX. In my opinion, Bitcoin has held up extremely well. Given how wild the swings have been for the stock market, rather for the S&P, I'm impressed, to be honest. So for me, I'm feeling way more confident in Bitcoin and this idea of it being a store of value. Now, do I think it could go lower? Yes. And if it does, that will be bad. But for now, it's holding, which is really interesting to me. I do want to talk about these two real quick, just because I've been talking about them a lot. So Ethereum to me has broken below support. To me, it's bearish. There are also lots of other reasons why it's bearish to me. If we go to FUSDT for Binance, volume has been dropping off considerably compared to Bitcoin's volume. This is the daily chart. It's massive. 2 days ago, the trading volume was, 11 billion. 11 billion USDT in one day. Yesterday, it was 10 billion USDT in one day. If you zoom out to see on the daily time frame, the last couple times that the volume was even at this range, there's literally just one day. And it's this mega dump day back in May. This alone is making me shake my head and go, wait, what? So price action is kind of holding up. There's signs of accumulation and there's signs of strength. There's a lot of trading volume going on for not a lot of price action. Things are very strange to me right now, given what's happening economically around the world. I'm feeling like we're seeing something take place. And a lot of people are saying something big is going to happen. I agree. Now, I think it's really interesting that trading volume is growing and price action is doing nothing. That to me shows growing sentiment. There is support for at least buying and selling. I mean, there's a lot of activity on here. I think it's worth paying attention to. But for Ethereum, boy, oh boy, is it dying. Ever since it had the merge, it's just been suffering. It's not really doing much of anything right now. XRP was a great run. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Now I have moved this line up. Excuse me. I've moved this line up right here. Where is it? Oh no, my bad. So looking at some simple things. Looking at, actually, this is a really messy chart, isn't it? Let me take out some stuff. Good. And then fibs. So just simple charting. It literally hit 54 cents and it got rejected. We don't even need to add fibs. It also, by the way, stopped out where? Right here at support. This is just simple, easy stuff for targets. Did I take profit? Yes, I took profit all the way up. I took profit up here at 50 cents, took it all the way up, and I got stopped out in a nice trade. It was a great trade for XRP. Do I think XRP is going to be going up? I mean, to be honest, no, I don't think so. Could it? Yeah, sure. But it had a massive run and it's all based on hype. There's no real news yet. So could it go higher? Yes. But that's a massive mega move. Again, anything that shoots up crazy fast in a short amount of time has a higher likelihood to fall afterward. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing it top out here on RSI. And then as soon as I saw RSI start to fall, this is where I was like, nope, take more profit, take a lot more profit, and then finally just let the rest ride, get stopped out, boom, done. So are there other charts that are going to be going up like this that are crazy? Of course. If we just go to Binance's USDT chart, let me get rid of some of these ones. Pop, pop, pop. So yeah, there are always going to be runners. There are always going to be charts that are going to be moving up crazy. And honestly, for no real good reason. I mean, maybe EARN has some great news, maybe, but this just clearly looks like a pump to me. So again, anything that moves up way too fast in a very short amount of time, this is literally 2 days, it's going to have a rough landing. Yeah, so that's just proof to show that yes, you can still make profits even in a bear market just because Bitcoin is suffering. Okay, perfect. With almost 40 seconds to spare, and then I'm done. Okay, so just a couple of reminders. I talk about a lot of this stuff, not every single day, just because I'm preparing to go on this Dubai trip, and there's a lot of stuff that I have to get done. I'm excited, but there's a lot of stuff I have to get done. So I am posting much more regularly on the Better Traders Club Discord server. that is the place, honestly, where I spend most of my time posting updates, posting charts, posting what I'm thinking about the market and news and stuff like that. I know I don't post on Twitter a lot. That's because I'm dedicating most of my time to Discord, to this private group. So if you want to get more updates from me, catch our bi-monthly, which means every other week. We got to find a better way to say that. Every other week, I have a live stream on, for the club on our private Discord server, and our next one's coming up on Monday. So for the live streams, I prepare a watch list to talk about, do like a market update like we just did. This is the short version. I actually go way more in depth, look at a whole lot more stuff, share a DCA backtester, what is it? A DCA bot from 3 commas that I have optimized, and I share it with the club. Then there's Q&A, but there's also signals. There's a ton of stuff. So I highly recommend joining the Better Traders Club if you want more insights from me, and if you want to join a community of growing traders that are learning how to become better traders. There's a ton of stuff included in the club. I honestly cannot recommend it enough. I talk about it all the time for lots of good reasons. So this week, if Bitcoin can still hold above 18,500, things are good. I am playing it very conservative right now, and I have scaled a lot of my bots back, and I'm just kind of waiting and seeing. Just because if Bitcoin were to break below, it would destroy a lot of setups. So I'm waiting for, just I think a lot of people are waiting for some inkling of where we're going to go. We just need to see a clear direction, either up or down, and then we can trade the market. But for now, I'm playing it very conservative and safe, and making sure that I'm protecting my portfolio at all costs. And I don't mind getting stopped out in a small loss. I would much rather that instead of hold and hold and hold and hope and pray. It's not a good place to be. So, all right. Yeah, that's everything. So again, thanks for hanging out with me today. Watch the charts, be safe. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.